you just turned 65. The mailbox is full of Medicare postcards, the robocalls won't stop, and somewhere in all that noise is one real question. Do you actually need to enroll right now? Hi everyone, welcome back to On My Watch. I'm Dr. Riz, and my goal is simple. Cut through the confusion and help you make smarter healthcare decisions. If you're still working or your spouse's job covers you, the answer isn't as simple as everyone assumes, and getting it wrong can cost you money for the rest of your life. Here's what actually happens when you turn 65, still working, still covered. The moment you turn 65, Medicare opens your initial enrollment period, a 7-month window, 3 months before your birthday month, and 3 months after. During that window, you're eligible to enroll in Part A, hospital coverage, and Part B, medical coverage, but eligible doesn't mean required. If you have no other coverage, use this window. If you're still working and covered through a job, the rules change completely. Here's where things get confusing, and where employer size matters. If your employer has 20 or more employees, your group plan counts as primary coverage. So you can typically delay Part B without penalty as long as you keep that coverage. Same if you're covered under your spouse's job, provided their employer also has 20 or more. But if your employer has fewer than 20 employees, Medicare usually becomes primary the day you turn 65, even if you keep job coverage. Delaying Part B can leave real expensive gaps. Part A, hospital coverage, is premium-free for almost everyone, so most advisors recommend enrolling at 65 regardless of work status. The one exception, if you or your spouse contribute to an HSA. Once you enroll in any part of Medicare, IRS rules bar further HSA contributions, and that enrollment can be backdated up to 6 months. If HSA contributions matter to your plan, have that conversation before you sign up for anything. 2 quick examples. Linda is 65, working full-time at a 300-employee company. Her plan is creditable coverage, so she enrolls in free Part A but delays Part B. She's saving over $200 a month, penalty-free, because her employer's plan is primary. Now let's look at Bob. Bob is also 65, but works at a 12-employee firm. Even with coverage through work, Medicare becomes his primary insurance the day he turns 65. If he delays Part B, he risks coverage gaps and a late enrollment penalty down the road. Same birthday, same decision, completely different answer. Let's talk numbers. In 2026, the standard Part B premium is $202.90 a month with a $283 annual deductible. After that, Medicare covers 80% of approved costs. You cover the remaining 20% with no cap unless you have supplemental coverage. Part A is premium-free for most, but carries a $1,736 deductible per hospital stay, plus daily coinsurance past 60 days. Higher earners should watch for IRMAA, the income-related monthly adjustment amount. Above $109,000 individual or $218,000 joint income, Medicare charges more. It's based on your tax return from 2 years earlier. At the top tier, over $689 a month. Part D averages around $34.50, with IRMAA adding more depending on income. That 2-year look-back means a decision today, like a large Roth conversion, can quietly raise your Medicare bill 2 years from now. One more decision matters just as much as timing: how you structure coverage. Original Medicare's 20% coinsurance has no cap on its own. So many people pair it with a Medicare supplement plan and a standalone Part D plan for predictable costs and freedom to see any doctor who accepts Medicare. Medicare Advantage, or Part C, bundles Part A, B, and usually D through a private insurer, often with a lower, sometimes $0 premium. It typically requires a specific network and referrals. Neither is universally cheaper. Original costs more monthly, but less if you're sick. Advantage often costs less monthly, but more if you need care. The right answer depends on your health, budget, and the doctors you don't want to give up. This is the part that costs people the most long-term: late enrollment penalties. Miss your Part B window without qualifying employer coverage, and there's a price. The penalty is 10% of the premium for every full 12 months you went without it, added for as long as you have Medicare, potentially decades. Part D works similarly, about 1% of the national base premium per month without creditable drug coverage permanently. The system assumes you enroll when first eligible, fall outside both qualifying employer coverage or enrolling when first eligible, and the penalty clock never resets. It's a trap you want to avoid. When you finally retire or lose employer coverage, Medicare gives you a special enrollment period, 8 months starting the month after employment or coverage ends. Enroll within that window and there's no late penalty, no matter how long you delayed. Miss it and you're stuck waiting for general enrollment in January. Miss the window and coverage is delayed while penalties apply. The biggest mistake isn't delaying Medicare, it's forgetting to act the moment employer coverage actually ends. Keep that 8-month window in mind. It's your safety net, but it doesn't stay open forever. Quick myth busting. Myth: I have insurance, so I don't need to think about Medicare. Fact: confirm your coverage actually counts as creditable for Medicare purposes. Myth: Part A is free, so there's nothing to consider. Fact: it can disqualify you from HSA contributions. That's a costly mistake if you're not prepared. Myth: missing my window means a small one-time fee. Fact: penalties can last the rest of your life. It's not just a one-off payment, it's a recurring cost. Myth: my spouse's coverage doesn't affect my timing. Fact: it absolutely does. If their employer meets that 20-employee size requirement, verify everything. A few practical steps. Call your employer's HR to confirm in writing whether your coverage is creditable. If HSA contributions matter, talk to a tax advisor about timing. Mark your calendar the moment retirement becomes a possibility. That 8-month window moves fast. And don't rely on a friend's experience. Everyone's situation is different. Employer size, spouse coverage, and income can all change your specific answer. Verify your own situation with the experts. Bring it all together. Turning 65 doesn't mean you must enroll in everything, and it doesn't mean you can ignore it either. Start with employer size. 20 or more is the key. Know your numbers. A $202.90 Part B premium, a $283 deductible, and IRMAA brackets. Late penalties aren't one time. They can follow you for life. The moment retirement becomes real, mark your calendar. That 8-month window is the single most common and most expensive thing people miss. Medicare isn't something to guess your way through. Stay informed, stay empowered, and stay out of trouble. I'll see you next time. Stay informed, stay empowered, and stay out of trouble. I'll see you next time.